This episode is brought to you by Peak, the blockchain for real-world applications and home of DePIN. If you think it's time for Web3 to get real, check out their website at peak.network. That's peaq.network.
Hello everyone, Daniel from depinhub over here, and today I have a very special episode being recorded out of Hong Kong after the Web3 festival. It's been a pleasure to be alongside here with Leo Lin, CEO and co-founder of a project called Arkreen, dedicated to connecting and monetizing distributed energy resources for a carbon neutral Earth. Thanks so much for being in the episode today, Leo. We've been talking for quite some time. It's really interesting to have you here physically, especially in Hong Kong. For the listeners, can you start by introducing yourself, your background, and why Arkreen?
Okay, my name is Leo Lin, the founder of the Arkreen, and very happy to have this very special opportunity, right, be here to record this podcast with Daniel together. And Arkreen is a D-Energy, the project, the DePIN project. So my background is quite, the focus on the IoT and the blockchain integrated innovation since the end of 2018. So we do a lot, promoting the IoT and blockchain, the ecosystem in Asia. And 2022, we look at the Helium project and actually inspired by the Helium, the model. That time, this is a DePIN term. It's only in the POPW, the proof of physical world. So we think that it's good, the opportunity if the Helium already proved in the Web3 community the IoT data off chain. So we think that it's a time to take a look at how those kind of model can be, used. And so we decide to build our own, the Helium style, the project. So that's the kind of the background, the reason why that we try to initiate this, the project, in the 2022,
Oh, quite some time, It's I think it's very interesting to see how a lot of projects came from the Helium idea, right?
Yeah.
There was this idea of decentralized infrastructure is not as new as Helium started getting big in, let's say, 2020, 2021. I mean, there are projects that we had in the podcast not so long ago called StoreJ. They also been much before Helium, but Helium is the one actually physical infrastructure with a specific location and everything, right? So it's really nice to see how many different projects came from this idea and in different sectors as well. How would you explain Arkreen for a 5-year-old? That's a good question.
We hope to using the DePIN model, right? It's a community-driven, the bottom up to connect the million, the distributed renewable energy resources. So that is kind of we can put as the 5 years, the plan. Yeah, we would like to connect the millions, those energy resources globally in the supply side. And in the demand side, we also hope using the DePIN model. And today we are trying to monetize those energy data to the kind of used by the carbon neutrality, the application. So in the demand side, we also try to driving the kind of a standard in the Web3 community as the carbon neutrality and by the DePIN model as well. It's also community driven, the bottom up. So that could be our 5, the years, the plan, the roadmap. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you guys are actually using the DePIN on the demand side and the supply side in all the angles.
Both sides. Yeah.
What kind of technologies do you use? Because I know, for example, there's a lot of solar panels out there. Do people need to buy some sort of component hardware to attach it? How does that work?
Yeah, for sure. It's IoT is the first technology because we try to digitalize those we call the long tail, the residential, the renewable energy resources. We're starting from the panel, the solar panel, the rooftop solar panel. So we have kind of IoT equipment at the device. It's a data logger or the smart meter to measure how much the green energy generated by the solar panel. So that is the IoT that will help to real time to measure the physical work. Right, we call it physical world. So it's a quite the mature market already in the industry, in the IoT industry to like we call Internet energy.
Internet of energy.
But what we need to do is we need to make sure the IoT solution will be we call the on-chain from the source. Because in the DePIN methodology, the proof of the physical world should be generated from the device side. Then the real time, we call it recorded or registered on the blockchain, right? So that's kind of, the proof for the epoch, for the reward distribution. So the second one is how to make sure those hardware can be integrated with we call the device wallet to generate the device, the DID or have the wallet in the IoT devices. So this hardware this DePIN hardware can sign this physical world and package it as a transaction and send to the blockchain side. So that's the second one. The second technology, we should have those data on-chain capability from the original source, from the data origin source, from the solar panel side, the inverter side, battery side. The third one is also very important, especially growing. The DePIN project start to scale from for example, 10,000 to the 20,000 to the even the 500,000. Then you have the massive data. So how to protect the privacy and also follow some the regulation of the different region of the country. Yeah. So we are also doing some implement in today's ArQreen application, but we are do some research and advanced research. So to enable the DKP capability in the hardware side. So this hardware can natively generate the DK proof. Then those proof of physical world can be verified by any the third party in the whole life cycle with the privacy preserving protection.
Wow, you guys are building a lot of things, right?
Yeah, so it's a lot of the technology combined together, and also a lot of the technical stack we will using the third parties, the decentralized storage, right? We integrate the Filecoin Wave. We are discussing with the streamer the decentralized messaging, right? We're discussing with the courier the decentralized database, yeah. And we also integrate the AA wallet to allow the more, the non-Web3, the user, the builder can easily, the log into those DApp. So we develop something special, unique from the ArQreen side, and we also try to integrate the existing, the virtual, the Web3 tech stack to do some composability, right?
Yeah.
To add the composability, yeah.
The composability on DePIN is beautiful. I think much more than a lot of other crypto Web3 projects. And it's all in different areas, like you said, like storage, like Filecoin or on Arweave and using streamer to stream the data. And I think you guys on the supply side are collecting a lot of data, right? Is this data used for like carbon credits? What are the main usage that you guys see?
So energy data is a big value asset. We just try to build the first use case is for the carbon neutrality. So we try to monetizing the green energy generation data to the renewable energy certificate, which can be consumed by the third party to offset the carbon emission of the using the brown energy. So this is an easy use case because those REC, the already existing more than 10 years. So we don't need to prove the use case. And what the ArQreen is doing is try to develop those long tail market. So based on today's, the centralized, the entity, they cannot, offer the CapEx, OpEx to those long tail, small size, the asset. So that is the perfect scenario for the DePIN model. Because back to the original question, why the ArQreen choosing this energy, the sector, because the solar, the energy, the sun, shine to the earth is quite fair. So every piece of the earth will get the energy from the sun. Yeah. So it's 100% distributed. So you have the larger side that we call the centralized solar farm in some region, right? They have the very good, the sunshine. But you also have every roof will install the solar panel. So I would see it's a big long tail market. Yeah. So every roof you have the solar panel. So if you can aggregate together, it's also big, the energy and the big asset. But today, the traditional way, the centralized way, they only develop those big assets because they either send the people to the field to check the size of the panel, or they invest the hardware to install the digital solution and collect the data at the real time. So they will evaluate the ROI. So the more size, they don't want, the DePIN model, the community builder, the take care of the CapEx, right? Those IoT or the digital solution investment. They also take care of the CapEx, the OpEx to install, to maintain this digital solution. And then we can have the way to aggregate those long tail, the green energy, the data asset. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, especially because like you're saying, if you want to have carbon credits or other names, I'm not sure, you can only do that in really, really big solar installations because otherwise it's too expensive. There's no ROI. It's not worth it if you have a small one. But then with the power of DePIN, you can actually really have the long tail, have a lot of people, and And in another way, have a better as well understanding on how many solar panels you have there, what's the resources being generated in terms of power. Yeah, I think it's super, super cool.
Yeah, and we also believe the DePIN sometimes is a perfect, the efficient way to develop those, we call it's a public goods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's already commercial ready scenario, we believe today's capital will, just jump into this area, right? Because this, you can see the money, you can see the commercial, the value. But for those the infra, really with the public goods, so you needed this community way, the DePIN way, to develop those public good infra.
Yeah. And talking about the money part, how does people who deploy the Arkreen device on their solar panels in their houses, their buildings, what is the incentive mechanism there?
Peak is a layer 1 blockchain designed to power DePINs. Why do DePINs choose to build on Peak? It's fast, scalable, low cost, offer builders are ready to deploy DePIN SDK, and is multi-chain. So when you build on Peak, you're building for all Web3. Peak is home for the fastest growing DePIN projects, with more than 100,000 vehicles and devices deployed, over a dozen DePINs already building, and the world-leading device manufacturers such as Boss partner with them. Think of building a DePIN? Peak has a grant program for DePIN builders. If you're listening to this, remember, you're early. The Peak Network will launch in the first half of 2024. Check out Peak's channels for more details and links in the podcast description.
Okay, so we have the incentive model. For example, for the solar panel, if the community member, the builder, to connect this solar panel and onboarding to the Arkreen Network, then this connected solar panel will regularly, periodically uploading the energy generation data to the Arkreen Network. To verify the data, then we're giving the token incentive back. And based on the every epochs, the incentive pool, and also we have some algorithm, right, based on how much the green energy generated, and also how many how many the can be built join this the incentive the cycle.
Yeah, I even took it. The name here is Proof of Green Energy Generation Algorithm.
Yes, that's the dedicated, the POP for this energy generation scenario. Yeah, we call it the proof of the green energy generation.
Yeah, it's like Helium have a proof of coverage, work.
Yeah.
What do you have a POG?
Yeah, we have actually we starting from the energy generation scenario, the solar panel, and we also have the plan to extend to the more scenario. The storage will be the next one, and we are also doing the energy consumption scenario.
Okay.
So we try to connect those energy resources and monetizing those energy data. Yeah.
On the demand side, like monitoring the usage, right, of power. Do you also get rewarded by connecting like an Arkreen device to the source of energy, or just the producing side?
Oh, so not only the producing side. We have the smart product, so actually monitoring the energy consumption side as well. But we are also trying to monitor those behavior with the kind of the carbon neutrality, the use case. So if you are using the energy, the electricity, this device, this smart product will get how much electricity you already use, right? So we have some, the incentive model are in the testing in the field. The existing one is we measure your average the energy consumption, the behavior in the past 30 days. Mm-hmm. You have the average energy consumption data, the value. And we also measure the past 7 days, the average consumption, the value. So if the average is 7, below the average, the 30, so we position you in the energy saving model. So we give you some, the reward. The incentive model we try to, apply in this energy consumption side. And sooner or later we will release another new model, also quite cool. And I can disclose some, information in advance. So we try to work with the other DePIN project together, because every DePIN project is kind of consume the energy, right? It's a power driven, right? For example, the Helium's hotspot and those DAI, right? A lot of GPU, right? The computing, the box.
Yeah.
So we can offer this smart, the product. So to measure the how much this DePIN hardware consume the electricity, right?
Okay, yeah.
Then the ArQreen also have we call the tokenized rack. It's a product that generated from the ArQreen. So if this builder to buy the tokenized rack to offsite the electricity this DePIN hardware consume, then we call it's a green. We call it's a green behavior. It's a green, the DePIN the hardware. So the ArQreen will give some, the incentive from the demand side.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the kind of a trial. We will partner with some DePIN the project together. Yeah. The two hardware can bundle together.
Yeah,
and then the builder can mining the different, the DePIN token.
Yeah, because in a way you're already using electricity provided for the graphic cards.
Yes.
Then you can actually provide this information, this data back to you guys.
Yeah, we already discussed some, the project in the Web3 festival. Quite, interested in this idea because you can claim your DAI is green.
Yeah.
If you have the ArQreen, the smart product, and you also apply the ArQreen's tokenized rack, this offsite mechanism, then you can offsite the 100% the energy, the consumption, the carbon emission.
Would it be like from the same company? Like, let's say, one a big DAI project, they have a lot of solar panels and they also the consumption. Do you want to get those to be zero? Like, did they be like level out so that they can make, they're going to be making tokens on the both sides, right? In the demand side and the supply side.
Yeah.
Do you have any other projects on the ArQreen in the past that already use that data? Like, there's any success stories that use ArQreen or that you worked with?
Yes, you mean the demand side, right?
Yeah.
Demand side, we have two, the example. So it's still the carbon neutrality, the use case based on those energy data generated from the ArQreen network. So one is the silo. Silo, this kind of ESG focus, the Leo 2, right?
Yeah.
So in the February, the Silo announced they call the Silo Carbon Offsetting Fund. So this fund, starting from the 2023, will be used for the offsite the silos ecosystem, the carbon emission. In the 2023, those funds, split two parts. 60% to be used to buy the off-chain carbon credit. 40% will use to buy the on-chain, the tokenized carbon credit from the Toucan. Yeah. Toucan is one famous, the bridge we call the carbon bridge, the protocol. And from February, the Silo decided to split these three parts. Okay. 40% for the off-chain carbon credit, and left the 60% for the on-chain tokenized, they call it environmental asset. So half, the 30%, still for the Toucan, for the on-chain tokenized carbon credit, and the 30% for ArQreen.
Okay.
So Silo will buy every month buy the tokenized, the REC generated from the ArQreen to offset the Silo's, the ecosystem carbon emission. So that is the one, the very good, the example. The demand coming from we call the enterprise. Right? It's a Web3 enterprise. Then for another example is we also built a very interesting the demand side app by ArQreen, right? Because we would like to generate the demand side firstly, because as an example, so we can have the end-to-end, right? From the supply side to the demand side, right? It's a closed loop, right? Yeah. To prove it's working. So last year, the second quarter, in the summer, we start to develop we call the greenbtc.club. It's the app also using the DePIN model. It's a community driven, the bottom up, try to offsite the historical carbon emission of the Bitcoin network in the past 15 years. Because in the past 15 years, the Bitcoin network, generated more than 800,000 blocks.
Yeah.
So every block's generation the miner, right? We're working together, consuming the electricity to do the mining. So we using the Cambridge methodology to calculate every block's, the energy consumption.
Nice.
That time per, the network. So it's kind of a map. It's a big map with the 800,000 blocks. So user, the climate actor can select the block, then jump out how much electricity consumed to generate the block. Then you can buy the tokenized rack from the ArQreen as the demand side to offsite this blocks carbon emission. Then we give you some the NFT and also some proof and some reward, right? To the incentive that the community to continue those voluntary climate action. And those builders can also show in the social media, I contribute something to green or to sustainable the Bitcoin, the ecosystem. So the app, we already run the more than 2.5, the months, starting from the beginning of this year. Community already green the 100,000 blocks.
Wow.
Starting from the 2009 and generate more than 30,000 on-chain offsite transaction. So this demand side also quite, nice for ArQreen to prove that today the Web3 would like to, take some responsibility from the individual.
Yeah.
To consume the tokenized rack and to do the on-chain offsite. And we continue the behavior. So that is another very important, the demand side for ArQreen. And we also set up the kind of a joint brand campaign with those we call the enterprise. So for example, like the OKX, those are leading exchange, and the ReFi DAO, and also some, the DePIN project like the PowerPod, and some Bitcoin, the ecosystem player, the B-Square Network. So they joined. We have dedicated zone for them.
I mean, Hotspotty is there as well.
Yes. Also in this map. So give today's kind of enterprise, the customer, some tool, the platform. They can do some ESG, and they can also give their community member, those individuals, some tool in the platform to do the voluntary climate action. It's never happened in the past because today's tool, the platform, only for the big company. Yeah.
Now, this is amazing. I'll tell in this camera here right now. Go to greenbtc.com and then check on the Hotspotty logo. You can buy some carbon tokenized version of the Bitcoin energy used. That's amazing. Yeah, that's such a cool project. How do you guys, you guys so in depth, in this whole real world assets in terms of energy? How do you see the DePIN ecosystem growing in the next few years? And how do you see actually ArQreen growing with it?
Okay, so we are quite confident the rising of the DePIN ecosystem globally and especially in Asia. Yeah, so that's the reason why years ago we have this kind of a joint launch the DePIN Hong Kong initiative and try to have the more the developer and the startup to jump into this we call the DePIN rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
And so we think we have some the feeling in the past 2 years. If we look at all those DePIN projects, it's developer driven.
Yeah.
Starting from the small the startup. Right, several people, right, no more than 10, and so that's the past 2 years. But from this year, especially in this Web3 festival, I met the customer.
Yeah,
they are the traditional non-Web3, but very good on some vertical, like the mobility, the energy, those traditional vertical. So they are looking at the DePIN model. Yeah, because the DePIN model can help the accelerate the skill, right? And expand to the different region and accelerate the bootstrap the skill. So I think that from this year we will see another the segment, not the developer, it's the company.
Yeah,
will take some the innovation trial with the DePIN model and try to do some region or try some their new the solution of the product go to the market. Yeah, so we think that would be very good for the DePIN ecosystem. Yeah, if we have the more people join and also some more professional, the industry people join.
Yeah, no, especially now. We've been from Hotspotty 4 years, basically full time. You guys even longer on this narrative and this idea. And now we can see that it's really picking up. And what we're trying to build now is actually something that's going to be cycle resistant, right? Because the demand side doesn't change on the different kinds of cycles. Like, for example, Helium Mobile, people are going to be using the cell phone regardless if the market is up or down, right? And that's like energy, renewable energy. People are going to be using electricity. It doesn't matter if the market's up or down. So it's really interesting to see how many eyes are getting into the space that we've been working so hard for so long. And now it's the time for us to shine and actually onboard a lot of new people into crypto and through our projects, right? I think that's something super interesting.
That's the kind of the special, the contribution of the DePIN for the Web3 society.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bring more, the people and also the more money and even some government, support. If you look at the Hong Kong, right?
Yeah,
they're talking a lot of the DePIN. Yeah.
Yeah. So if people want to know more about ArQreen, where do they go? Who do they talk to? The website, Twitter, where do they do? We
have the social media, we have the website, we have the doc. If you want to check the more, the detail, the information of the ArQreen. And of course we have the team, right? Quite active. And so the community member who would like to give some suggestion and also want to participate in the ArQreen Network as the builder, and can easily find us in the Telegram, the Discord, and also Twitter. And we also quite active in the regional event. So
For sure.
we can also have the more, the face-to-face, the meeting and also supporting.
Thanks. Yeah. For you all listening out there, make sure to check. We're going to put all the links in the description of the video or the podcast, anywhere you listen to this, for ArQreen, their Twitter. And also make sure to go Greenbeam and buy some of those carbon credits tokenized version. Yeah, make sure to also like the channel. We need your support because we really want to grow the DePIN ecosystem. And thanks so much, Leo, for being here today. It's been a pleasure always talking to you throughout the past few years. And yeah, go DePIN.
Yeah, really appreciate this opportunity. Yeah.
Thanks so much, man. It was a pleasure.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.